Although Vita Health Group provided this exercise class provisional with your health and safety in mind, each individual participant has their own limitations and should consult their general practitioner or an appropriate medical professional prior to undertaking the class. Should you be prone to injury, are currently pregnant, or be managing any functional limiting medical conditions, please seek medical confirmation prior to participating. At all times, ensure you follow all instructions provided by Vita Health Groups throughout the entirety of the recording. Should you experience any symptoms of dizziness, nausea, or increased pain at any point during your participation, please stop and seek the appropriate advice from your general practitioner or the 111 service.
Hi and welcome to our intermediate hip exercise class. My name is Ryan and I'll be delivering today's class. The purpose of today's class is to help build strength and stabilise in and around the hip. So big structures around there, kind of the hamstrings, the glutes, the quads, etc. So this class is aimed for people who've started to see somewhat of an improvement in their symptoms and who have done some previous strengthening for the hip before. So just have a quick read of this equipment that's sort of put on the screen in front of you now. Make sure you've got all that equipment around you before we move on into our warm-up. Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to start with a bit of a warm-up now, just get the body ready for the class. So I'm going to start out with a nice gentle march, just very steady on the spot. So looking to drive them knees up, get them arms moving, make sure we're swinging the arms as well. Make sure we're taking nice deep breaths while we're working through the exercise. So kind of the aim of the warm-up here is to raise the heart rate, activate the muscles that we're looking to work, mobilise the joints, and then potentiate, which is make the exercise we're doing a little bit more difficult and progress into the actual class itself. So keep yourself stood nice and upright, nice deep breaths. Keep driving them knees up, don't let them fall down. So as the heart rate begins to pick up, we'll actually increase muscle temperature as well, which improves muscular flexibility. All things that are good to help us perform and to prevent any kind of injury or anything like that. Okay, so we're going to progress this march into a nice steady jog, just keeping it on the spot. Again, don't forget about your breathing. Nice deep breath throughout. Nice and light on the toes. If you want to swing the arms a little bit as well. That's it, a little bit longer. Again, just kind of jogging at a comfortable pace, nothing too serious for you. Okay, I'm going to move on to a joint mobilisation for the hips, the lower back and the pelvis. So we're just drawing these nice big circles as far as we can. Keep the hands on the hips to guide. And I'm going to change direction and the exact same thing going the opposite way. Again, nice deep breaths. Really feel that kind of stretch through the muscles as you push in each different direction. Okay, and then just on one leg at a time, just as far as you're comfortable with, just swing that leg in forwards and in front behind you. Focus on one point in front of you, or pop your arms out just to help you balance a little bit. And again, you can progress it just by swinging a little bit further. So you're just looking to feel that stretch in that hip, and activate the glutes as well. Also activate through the leg where we're just keeping a little bit of balance. Okay, and then the exact same thing on the other side. Again, pick one spot in front of you, get the arms out, and just swing that leg. If you do need to put your foot back down to gauge your balance, that's fine. Good stuff. Okay, and then we're just going to start to bring it up the body a little bit into the shoulders. And we're just going to draw these nice big circles with the hands. Again, progress it yourself, kind of as far as you want to go, as far as feels comfortable for you. If that's just a small circle down here, that's fine. If we can we bring them up into a nice big circle, forwards and backwards, and just keep going. Helps to stretch out the chest, the upper back, even working into the neck a little bit as well. Again, a good warm-up kind of focus targets the whole body rather than just certain structures. Good. Make sure we are changing directions. Good stuff. And then we're going to move on to mobilise the actual spine itself. So various different movements for the spine. So we're going to start with feet nice and close together. Again, nice deep breaths while we work through these. Popping our hands on the front of our thighs and just sliding down as far as we can. When you reach that point, very slowly return to your starting position and repeat. So 5 of these. Again, make sure we are just in a comfortable range. So if that's only to your knees and back up, that's perfectly fine. It's just as far as you can go. Okie doke. And once we've done 5, the exact same thing, hands round on the back, just below the glutes. And we're just going to slide down towards the back of the knees. Again, you won't get anywhere near as far as you will going forwards. And again, it's just as comfortable as you can, kind of in terms of distance. So 5. Once you've done your 5, hands round onto the sides, kind of where your pockets should be. Maybe open up your feet a little bit wider for this one. And stand up nice and straight, and you're just going to slide one hand at a time down towards the knee to side flex the spine. And the exact same thing going in the other direction. Good. Again, nice deep breathing as we work through. So to each side is 1 rep, so you do 10 in total. Good, last one. Then you're going to, again, feet still in kind of position, arms out in front of you, and you're going to rotate to look over one shoulder, and then rotate the other way. Again, each side being 1 rep, 5 of these. So again, 10 in total. Keep counting your head. Make sure you keep the hips facing forwards, so we're just rotating the lower trunk. Okay, then give everything a nice little shake off as we draw towards the end of our warm-up. So we'll move on to the actual class itself now. So here's just a quick reminder of the equipment we'll need for this class. So the next exercise is a squat with a pause at the bottom. So a bit of a progression from a bodyweight squat. So I'm going to start out in normal squat position, so feet just outside of hip width with our hands across our chest, or wherever feels comfortable, so it's behind your head or out in front, whichever works best for you. I'm just going to slowly work down into a squat. And as we reach the bottom, we're going to pause, 1, 2, 3, and push back up. So really increasing that time that we spend under tension, where we really build that strength. So again, just repeat that for 10 reps, so 9 more. So let's just keep going, keep working. Nice deep breaths as we're working through. Don't forget that pause at the bottom for 3 seconds and come back up. Maintain a steady pace, don't rush back up or rush down. So working for 10 reps, remember. Let's make sure we're counting in our heads to know how many we've done. Good. Just go at your own pace, lowering down as far as we can. Just hold that pause as close to the ground as possible. If you want to progress it yourself, try and hold that pause for a little bit longer. Good, and one more. Good stuff. And after 10 reps, just give the legs a nice little bit of a shake. Some nice big deep breaths, and just take 20 seconds, a bit of a recovery break, and then we'll move on to our second set. Okay, and moving on into our second set. So again, getting back into that starting position, with our feet nice and wide, arms across the chest, and slowly lowering down, holding that pause, 1, 2, 3, and coming back up. Just keep working through. Really slowly, nice deep breaths. Really take your time with these. Good. 4 more. Good. Last 2. Gotta make sure we're really holding that pause down at the bottom of the rep. And at the end, give your legs a nice little shake off. Some nice deep breaths. Just keep a bit of a walk, bit of a march on the spot, and you take 20 seconds for a bit of a rest break before we move on to our next exercise. This exercise is prone hip extension, a really good exercise for building mobility in the hip joint itself and to strengthen up the hip around the glutes and the lower back as well. Maybe even the hamstring a little bit on top of that. So we're going to lay on our front and alternating legs, so one hip at a time. We're going to lift the leg up off the floor and back down. So as far as you can, as far as you're comfortable with. So once you've done one on each side, that's 1 rep. We're going to do 10 of them and then take a rest, okay? So keep working through, nice and slow. Nice deep breaths to work in these and really get that leg up. Almost like you're a puppet and someone's lifting your foot up by a string. Good, try and squeeze the glute as we get the leg up to the top. Real nice deep breathing. And just keep counting in your head up to 10. So 10 on each side, 20 in total. Good, keep working. Good, and one more on each side, 6 to 10. And lay flat down on the floor. Let the body rest. Just take 20 seconds, a bit of a breather, a bit of a rest break, let the muscles recover before you go into our second set. Okay, when we're ready, move on to our second set again, repeating that movement. Again, just lifting that foot as high up as it feels comfortable for you. So it might only be a very small movement, as long as we're working to your physical limit, that's all we're asking to do. Okay, so very, very slowly again. Nice deep breaths. Lift one leg up and the other side. Very slow, very steady. Maintaining that nice deep breathing. Good. So lower back, the glutes and the hamstring often very well linked. So you could just train all three. So nice and strong, make sure you're all doing the roll properly. Good, so you should feel all three working as you lift that leg up. Good, and one more on each side. Make sure you keep squeezing that glute right at the top, hold that there, and slowly lower back down. So when we're ready, slowly bring ourselves back up onto our feet. Good stuff. Again, just take a little bit of a shake of the legs, some nice deep breaths. Have 20 seconds to recover before we move on to our next exercise. Okay, so our next exercise will be Bulgarian split squats. So I'm going to start out with a chair, and I've got a pillow on there just for a little bit of comfort for the top of the foot, which will be placed on that chair. So a really good exercise for strength in the kind of the whole lower limb, anything around the hip, knee, ankle, really good exercise for not only strength, but for stability and mobility as well. So to find our start position, we're going to bring ourselves to the edge of the chair, so glutes right on the edge, and extend both legs out nice and straight in front of us. So wherever that heel is, that'll be our starting position for our grounded foot. So just remember where that is, or keep it there, and place that foot wherever that was. Again, bringing that back foot up onto the chair, try and keep your balance. Get your arms out if you need to, and all we're going to do is lower this back knee down to the ground, like so. Okay. Again, use your arms when you need to, just to stabilise. Make sure you're under balance before you move down. So working up to 8 reps before we swap legs. One more. Nice deep breath. Good. Then bring that foot exactly next to the other one. And this back foot goes up onto the chair. And again, repeat the exact same process, lowering his knee down into the ground. Keep yourself upright. Nice deep breaths, really lower that knee down. 2 more. And number 8, nice and slow. And back up. Bring both legs together and give them a nice little shake out in front of you. Some nice deep breaths. We'll take a good break here, good 20 seconds, let the muscles recover before we go into our second set. Okay. Okay, so moving on to our second set now. Same thing, find our foot position by sitting on the edge of the chair. Again, right up to the edge of the chair. Extend them legs out, or just one, whichever one you know you're going to be starting on. And push that foot down into the ground in that position. Bringing the other foot back up onto the edge of the chair. Again, focus on one point, just keep yourself balanced and slowly lower that knee down to the ground. So it's getting that knee as close to the ground as you're possibly comfortable with. Bending this front knee, lowering the back one. Nice and slow, deep breath throughout. One more before we swap legs. Good. Again, bring that front foot forward and the back foot back up onto the chair. And again, get yourself nice under control. Pick a point to focus on, and again, lowering this knee as close to the ground as you can. Good. Nice deep breaths. Keep control of your breathing. And one more, make it a good one, really slow. And back up. Again, just take 20 seconds, give the legs a nice little shake, get your breath back, let them muscles recover before we move on to our next exercise. Okay, so our next exercise will be a stretch. It's a really great one for stretching the whole of the lower limb, right from the ankle and the foot all the way up into the hip. So to get into our start position, we're going to lower ourselves down onto the ground and sit with both legs flat out in front of us like so. And then one leg at a time, we're going to bring the inside of, or the kind of bottom of the foot into the inside of the knee, lowering this knee down towards the ground. And we're going to lean forward, pushing this knee downwards, and just hold that position for 20 seconds. So you should feel a stretch for the back of the hamstring and the glutes on this side and the outside of this leg. Nice deep breath while we hold that. Again, just 20 seconds. And after 20 seconds, you're going to repeat on the other side. Again, keep this knee nice and flat to the floor and push this one down as we lean forward. Nice deep breaths again. Good, and after 20 seconds, just lower and straighten both legs out in front of you. Again, sit back and just take 20 seconds before we move into our second set. Okay, and moving on to our second set. Again, repeating, bringing the bottom of that foot into the inside of the knee and just slowly lowering that down to the ground, the outside of this knee. Really important we take nice deep breaths, allow us to relax and push further into the stretch. Yeah, just hold it for 20 seconds. Nice deep breath throughout. And after 20, swap over onto the other side. Okay, and again, push this knee down as we lean forward. And nice deep breaths. Really relax. Again, after 20 seconds, straighten the legs out. And just sit up nice and straight. Again, just taking 20 seconds, bit of recovery time. Get a drink if needed before we move on to our third and final set. Okay, and moving into our third and final set. Again, just bringing the inside of that foot up inside of the knee. And then nice and slowly, really relax. With a nice deep breath and lean forward, push into that stretch. Okay, just 20 seconds, hold that position. Okay, and after 20, you're just going to extend the leg and swap over onto the other side. Again, really get the outside of this knee down towards the ground and keep the back of the knee nice and flat. Nice deep breath, really relax the body and lean into that stretch. A nice deep breathing. And after 20 seconds, straighten the legs out again. And slowly bring yourself back up onto your feet. Okay, brilliant. So that brings on to the end of that stretch. So again, if needed, just take 20 seconds, have a bit of recovery time, get a drink, get your breath back before we move on to our next exercise. Okay, so our next exercise will be a single leg glute bridge. So obviously very similar to the glute bridge, however we'll just be doing it on one leg this time, just to make it a little bit more difficult to put a lot more load through one leg rather than the two. Okay, so lowering down into our starting position, we're going to bring ourselves on to our back, get ourselves nice and comfy, and then pick which leg we're going to complete this first set on first. So I'm going to start off on the left leg, bringing the right leg up off the ground, and then just push up off the floor and slowly lower back down. Again, just repeat this process. So working for 8 reps. So up, squeeze the glute on that side, and lower back down. Gonna start nice deep breathing, work really slowly. And after we hit 10, swap over and repeat on the other side. So again, 10 slow. Really drive them hips up. Squeeze that glute as we get to the top. Keep it under control. Nice deep breathing. And one more. Keep them nice and slow. And then lower both legs down to the ground after we've done 10 on both sides. And bring ourselves back up onto our feet. Again, give the legs a nice little bit of a shake. a bit of time to recover, so just 20 seconds, get a drink if you need one, and just have a little bit of a breather. So take 20 seconds and we'll come back for our second set. Okay, so bring us back into our second set of our single leg glute bridge. So again, repeating the same process, down on the ground, get into that comfortable position, laid flat on our back, with both hands flat on the ground. Bring the feet into a nice comfortable position next to each other, and just lift one off the ground. So again, we'll start on the same side that we started with last time, and just lift the hips up off the ground. Again, really, really slow, under control. Driving them hips up. Two more, keep going, keep pushing. Good, and lower that leg back down, and we'll repeat on the other side. So again, lift that left leg up, push, and back down. Nice deep breathing. Make sure we're squeezing that glute as we get to the top, and slowly lowering back down. Keep going up to 10. Keep it nice and slow. Two more. Last one, make it a good one. Really squeeze that glute and lower back down. Both legs down on the ground. And then slowly bring yourself back up onto your feet. Again, giving the legs a nice little shake and a nice breather. So again, take 20 seconds and we'll move on to our next exercise. Okay, so for this exercise, we will need to perform on a step. So please find a step where it's kind of safe to perform the exercise on. So it's kind of roughly just below halfway between the ankle and the knee. So kind of halfway up the shin, just below. So start off facing the step, and we're going to start picking with one side leading before we move on to the other one. So it's just a single leg step up. So looking to build, kind of isolate the structures in one leg as we produce force to bring ourselves up onto that step. So facing the step nice and square, so I'm going to start with my right leg. I'm going to bring it up and I'm going to push up onto that step and back down. So trying to keep this left leg off the ground, so bring it up. Quite difficult to keep yourself balanced. So just push up as long as you can before I bring that form. So nice, really, really slow. Get some balance work through this right leg as well as the actual movement itself. Okay. So move 7 of these on each leg. Nice deep breathing as we push up. And deep breath as we come back down. Okay, after 7, we're going to swap legs and repeat on the other side. So now the left leg, bring it up, push up, and back down. Come up, hold it, and back down. Good. Good. So working that balance and that proprioception as we're producing force with the same structures. And 2 more. Good. Alright, last one. Really, really slow. Good. And like that. Good. So that brings us to the end of our first set. Just give your legs a nice little shake off for a bit of recovery. Get a drink, get your breath back, let the legs recover before we move into our second set. Okay, and moving on to our second set of our single leg step ups. Again, remember which leg we started with. Make sure we're leading with that leg. Okay, so exact same as before. Bring that leg up and drive up. Try to touch step up to the leg. Try and keep that balance. Good, and come back down. Again, 7 reps on each side. Nice and slow, nice and steady. Good. And one more. Before we flip sides. Good. And repeat on the other side again. Nice deep breathing as we work through these. Imagine you're almost trying to push the step down with the foot as you push up. Good, really nice and slow. Good, keep going. Last one. And again, give the legs a nice little shake off and take a little bit of a rest break before we move into our third and final set. Okay, and moving on to our third and final set. So a little bit different from this one. With this one, we're going to try and really slow down that kind of step up to make it a little bit more difficult. So after we've really slowed it down, we're also going to advance it by repeating until failure. So we're going to, on each side, just do as many as we can until we physically can't and need to swap over to the side and then to just take a rest break after we've moved over. Okay, so rather than foot on and push up, we're going to place our foot on and really slowly push up until we're nice and straight and lower back down. Okay, so let's keep working through them. We're going to try and do it as slow as we can, taking nice deep breaths. Focus on one point to help get your balance as you work up. Maybe use your arms. And really push down, really slowly. Bring yourself upright. And slowly back down. So as slow as you can. And all the way back down. Okay, so that's only 5, but just keep going on that leg, keep repeating, performing as slowly as you can until that right leg just can't do any more and you need to move over on to the left leg. Remembering, focusing on a point on the floor in front of you really helps to keep your balance. Maybe use the arms a little bit as well, get them out to the side. And then we move over to the left foot and the left side, repeating the exact same way. Really, really slow. Remember, you almost like you're trying to push that step down into the ground as you push off of it. Again, so I'll just work through a few on the left hand side. Really, really slowly. Make sure the way down really slowly as well. Good, and you keep going so you can't do any more. Good, very, very steady. You're going to turn that deep breathe in and just keep pulling that left hand side into that left leg. Can't do any more, and you need to just give yourself a little bit of a time to relax, bit of a breather. So, really well done, really work yourself until you can't do any more. Then you take that time, whatever needed, let the legs recover, and we'll move on to our next exercise. Okay, so this stretch is for the piriformis muscle, which is located in the back of the hip, just behind the glutes. So for this stretch, we're going to lower down onto the ground and lay down on our back. Get nice and comfortable. And we're going to place the outside of the ankle on the hip, like so. And then we're going to bring this knee up towards the chest to push this knee down, okay? So if you can, just lift it off the floor and apply pressure on the inside of the knee. Okay, so that's how we're gonna hold that stretch. We're gonna take some nice deep breaths as we hold that. I'm gonna hold it for 20 seconds before we swap over to the other side. Okay, so 20 seconds starting in 3, 2, 1, and go. Nice big deep breaths. Good. After 20 seconds, just lower both legs down onto the ground and swap over onto the other side. So outside of this ankle, over onto the top of this knee, and let this knee fall away. And just lift this knee up off the ground, applying a light pressure on the inside of the knee again. Again, 20 seconds, starting in 3, 2, 1, and go. Again, that really nice deep breathe in. And pushing through that knee, really pushing to that stretch. Again, after 20 seconds, lower both legs down into the ground. Bring yourself up into a seated position. Take some nice deep breaths, just take a very short break, just have a little bit of recovery time before we move into our second set. Okay, and moving on into our second set. Again, just slowing down onto the ground. Bringing that knee up, starting on the same side that we did last time. So placing the outside of the foot on the top of that knee. So that outer ankle on the top of the knee. And just pull this knee away to stretch this right-sided hip. Then to progress that stretch, if needed, If you can't already feel the stretch already, just lift this foot up off the floor to further that stretch. Okay, so we're just going to hold that for 20 seconds, starting in 3, 2, 1, and go. Maintain that pressure through the knee, pushing out if we need to, and really nice deep breaths. You should notice as you take a nice deep breath out, you should be able to push a little bit further into that stretch as the body relaxes. Good, and again after 20 seconds we're just going to swap over and repeat on the other side. So the outer ankle on top of the knee, place that pressure, pushing the knee out and away from you in that direction. And if you can't particularly feel like you want to press it, lift that knee up off the ground. Okay, so again 20 seconds, starting in 3, 2, 1, and go. Maintain that nice deep breathing. See if you can push a little further into the stretch. And after 20 seconds, we're just going to lower that leg down into the ground. Bring us up into a seated position. Again, just a short 20-second breather. Nice deep breaths, and we'll move into our third and final set. Okay, and moving on into our third and final set. Again, same as before, just lowering down onto our back and bringing that outer ankle up onto the top of the knee. Again, just applying that light pressure to progress that stretch and pushing that way until we feel the stretch in this right hip. Again, nice deep breaths as we hold it for 20 seconds, starting in 3, 2, 1, and go. Really deep breaths, really helps with that stretch. After 20 seconds, we're just going to lower that leg down into the ground and repeat on the other side. Good. Again, nice deep breaths as we push this knee away from us. Okay, so starting in 3, 2, and 1. Control that breathing. Hopefully you can feel a little bit of an improvement each time. You can get that knee a little bit further. Good. And after 20 seconds, lower that leg down into the ground and bring yourself up into a seated position and then up onto our feet whenever we're ready. Okay, so just give your legs a nice little shake off. Take some nice, big, deep breaths. And just take 20 seconds, have a little bit of a breather, and that brings us to the end of that stretch, but also to the end of the class as well. Hope you enjoyed that, hope you found it of some use and found it really beneficial. So, just before we end the class, we're going to move into a nice little cool down to prepare the body to stop exercising. Thank you. Okay, so the same way we prepare the body to warm up for exercise, we have to prepare the body to cool down in the same way. So we just to start off with that, we'll pop our hands on our hips, in nice big circles, working around as far as we can. So looking to lower that heart rate back down to a resting level. and keep the fluids transporting around the body to the tissues that we've worked. Nice deep breathing throughout. Nice deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Good, and then change direction, the exact same thing. Try and use your hands just to guide your hips a little bit further. Really progress that stretch if you want to. Good stuff. Keep working. Twice more round, and I'll move on to our next stretch. Okay, so starting off, hands on front of the legs. I'm just going to reach down to touch our toes, nice and slowly, and coming back up. Ensure we're going down as slowly as we're coming back up. Again, maintain deep breathing as we're working down to the toes and back up to our start position. Keep the knees nice and straight, don't let the knees bend as we work down. Okay, and then bring the hands up and behind the head. Again, nice deep breathing while we're working through all of these movements. So really open that chest up, nice deep breaths, and we're just going to work. Bring the hips out and the shoulders over to the other side. And the other way. And rotate to look each way. Again, just hold at the end of the stretch and work around the opposite side. And forwards. Again, keeping them knees nice and straight. Keep the back in line. And back up. Nice deep breaths as we're working down. Nice deep breaths in as we come back up. And the same thing, leaning backwards. Okay, then just moving on to a very steady, just walking on the spot. Again, looking to keep those structures working. Looking to engage that skeletal muscle pump, so every time your muscle contracts, it pumps that blood flow back around the body. Similar to where the heart does, but you know, rather up near the heart, right down near the structures that we've worked. So again, just nice and slow, keep your breathing nice and deep. Very gentle. I'm just going to move it around the mat, just side to side. Again, just engages different muscle groups ever so slightly. Okay, then just to finish off our cool down, some really nice deep breathing. Again, the nice deep breath really helps to lower that heart rate back to its resting level. So hands on hips or behind your back, wherever feels comfortable. Really get that chest out. Nice deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. And just keep repeating that. And that'll bring us to the end of our cool down. Thank you very much.